Boker Tov, gentlemen, to Scale Mitzvot. Today we are continuing Melachot of Shabbat, Perik Rishon, Halachot Bishul, laws of Shabbat. Yesterday we spoke about the famous Rav Ovadia Chidush about a grama, where if you put a liquid dish that's been cooked once prior on a plata that's off, that will be turned on by a timer. Rav Ovadia writes that the gram bishul element, coupled with the Rishonim that say it's mutar, will make it mutar lechatchila to do, and that's a mechanism that is widely used to warm up liquids. Today we're continuing now into the next category, Bishul Achar Afiah v'tzliya. Very important halacha. It comes up very often, and it's a big machloket between the Sfardim and Ashkenazim as well. But we'll get into it, introduce it, and we'll get into halachot today. Nitba'er la'el shema'achal shenitbashel kol tzorko v'nitztaner imu yavesh en bo yoter mishum bishul. So we've already established, we've already taught earlier, that a cold dish, a dry dish, meaning a solid of food, not a liquid, not a soup, of food that has already been fully cooked, that is now cold, there is no problem of cooking it again. Meaning, en bishul achar bishul b'davar yavesh. There's no issue of reheating dishes, solid dishes that have become cold. However, there's a big machoket rishonim. Does that concept of en bishul achar bishul, does that extend to Afiya and Sliya as well? What's Afiya and what's Sliya? So Afiya is actually the name of the Melachet. Ofeh is it's baking. What do you bake? You bake bread as opposed to you cook food.
Separate Melachet and Bishul?
Same Melacha, but one is cooking in water usually. One is baking in an oven or on in any type of oven, or Sliya, roasting on a fire. Okay. We know that Ein Bishul Achar, if I cook this once, I can reheat it the same way. But if this was baked, can I now cook it? If this was roasted, can I now cook it?
If it was baked, you can now bake it?
In theory, yeah. In Ofeh Achar Afiah.
You get it warm up.
That's not the question. I can warm up the bread in the oven again, in theory, in this baking way. I mean, that's a mechzek and bashal. So, in theory, yes.
Like, forgetting introduction, we're talking about Bishul itself. Right now the question is, can you do a different type of...
So the problem is, it's considered cooking. That's why in English it doesn't make any sense what we're saying. In Hebrew, there's Bishul, there's Afiya, and there's Sliya. And there's also Kliya.
What's Kliya?
No, it's Sliya. How do you, roast? Yeah. Sliya. Yeah, that's Sliya. That coffee is Sliya. Good. So there are different subcategories within cooking as a big machoket rishonim if you're allowed to intertwine. Ha'im mutar lachzor b'shalam b'shabbat mishum k'dekemot ein bishul achar bishul ken ein bishul achar afiya v'tzliya v'chen ein afiya v'tzliya achar bishul o dedavka bishul achar bishul hubzereka bishul achar afiya v'tzliya v'chen afiya v'tzliya achar bishul ika kivan shem sugei tikunei achila shonim. The Machoket Rishonim is as follows. We just spoke it out. Maybe when we say Ein Bishul Achar Bishul, that's saying that there's no problem of cooking after cooking because it's the same type of fixing the food. But maybe after I baked it, if I want to now come to cook it, it's a problem. Because baking is one way of fixing the food, cooking is another way. Or are they all the same umbrella? Are they all the same category? No problem. Do it as you wish. Big Machoket Rishonim. Ulinyan halacha, the Shulchan Aruch halachically was posek lekula, leniently. The en bishul achar afiya v'tzliya, v'chi en afiya v'tzliya achar bishul. There's no issue of cooking after something's been baked or roasted, nor is there an issue of baking and cooking after something was already cooked. Baking and roasting after something was already cooked.
Are there any common applications?
Of course.
Putting bread on
the plata, letting it become toast. Making toast bread. Making it more toast. We'll get there. Mutar based on this, but we'll get there. I mean, it's already fully cooked, yeah. Or coffee. Coffee's been roasted. Can I put boiling hot water onto it? But it's en bishul achar afiah. Raw coffee wasn't cooked; it was roasted.
No, the toasted bread.
But bread that was baked. That was afiya. So all of these things are where it comes into. We know the halacha, but how do we get there? So they bring down. I'll quickly bring the opinion of the Shulchan Aruch inside. It says Shin Yud Chet Seif Hey. You got up there or not yet?
We actually are here.
You're gonna see it again this week, okay? Yesh mi she'omer shedavar shene'efa or nitzla. There is an opinion that says something that was baked or roasted. Im bishulo achar kach b'mashke yesh bo mishum bishul. If you bake it after, if you cook it afterward in a liquid, it's a problem of cooking. Ve'asur liten pat afilu b'kli sheni shayat zoler po ve'yesh matirin. Shulchan Aruch brings yesh ve'yesh. He brings two opinions. He says some say that if something was cooked or if something was baked, you can no longer cook it. So his example is, I have baked bread. I can therefore, it's asur for me, according to this opinion, to take that bread and put it in soup. Whether it's boiling hot soup, kli rishon, or even kli sheni soup, that is still yatzon repo. Ve'yesh matirin. But he concludes the halacha by bringing the lenient opinion that say, no, and some are lenient. And we know that when Maran brings, in the language of Maran, when he writes yesh, ve'yesh, he very often brings, the Gra explains that the Shulchan Aruch, the Gaon of Vilna, the Gra explains that the Maran is a compilation of the Bet Yosef. The Shulchan Aruch is a summary of the Bet Yosef, not the Gra, it's everyone. Okay? Therefore, in the Bet Yosef, he brings all the discussion, all the Rishonim, the back and forth, the Sugiyot, and in Shulchan Aruch, he brings the bottom line summary. And because it's supposed to be a mechanism to remember the Sugiyot, he brings both opinions. Yesh ve'yesh. Some say this, some say that. Or he brings Stam ve'yesh, a general statement, and then a yesh omrim. What happens when he brings two conflicting opinions? How do we hold? So it depends. Stam ve'yesh, if it's a blank statement and then yesh omrim, Rav Abaye writes halacha kistam. We disregard the yesh, we look at the stam only. That's a machloket also. Rabbeinu Tabashur is also strict. But we hold like Rav Abaye, keep it simple. Stam ve'yesh, halacha kistam, you disregard the yesh. Yesh ve'yesh, like our example right now in Seif Hey, yesh ve'yesh, Rav Abaye establishes that halacha ki yesh batra is like the latter yesh. So the first yesh omrim is to be strict. Don't cook it again. Don't bake it again. Don't interchange asur. But it concludes v'yesh matirim, and we hold that like the second yesh omrim. That's the primary halacha. Ubiprat kan sheizkir dat haoser b'lshon yachid v'dat hamertim b'lshon rabim.
This was saying like he said the stam, yesh omrim, yesh three like.
No.
Oh, just stam and yesh.
Stam and yesh, or yesh and yesh. You'll see when it's stam and yesh, he just brings halacha, and then at the end of the halacha he says v'yesh omrim kacha.
Otherwise, it would be yesh this, yesh that.
We just read it. In our scenario, it was yesh misha omer. So first of all, in our case, there's even more to be mekel because it was singular. Yesh misha omer is there's one opinion that says not to do it. Ve'yesh matirin in plural. You're being like every word of the Maran. He brings the second in the plural, which permits us, meaning there's a majority who say otherwise. Good. Umevar Bet Yosef. The Bet Yosef says, Dehane matirin. Who are the ones that permit? It's the Ravia and the Mordechai. The Spira lehu de en Bishul Achar Afiah betzliya ve'afilu b'kli rishon. The Mordechai and the Ravia say there's no problem of cooking after something was baked, even if I put it in the kli rishon. For example, I have a soup on the plata, my cholent's on the plata. I take croutons that was cooked. I take bread that was baked. Croutons was fried, let's say, and I dump it into the kli rishon. According to these rishonim, it's mutar. Why? Because there's no problem. Once something was baked or cooked, you can interchange them, and it's totally okay. Yes.
So you don't need kli rishon for coffee.
According to the Sfaradim, correct. Yeah.
Ashkenazi say no, you do?
It's the very they have different Tea is something called kale bishul. It wasn't according to the simple understanding either the tea bags weren't yet cooked, or even if they were roasted partially, and the slight temperature of heat can cook them very quickly. They try to equate that to the Mishnah we saw in Melechet Shabbat with the fish. Yeah.
This isn't the same as like taking bread out of the freezer and letting it like get to normal temperature. Like it's not considered warming up in this case.
The bread out of the freezer is also okay because it's been cooked already.
Okay. Also that's considered cooked.
Yeah, it's frozen now, but I baked it once. It's baked, it's frozen. So it's a good example. It's good point. Okay, very good. Okay, so now they go into a big discussion about even the Kli Rishon, Ra'ovadia and Yabi Omer Chelik Chet and Oletzion Perek Lamed Teshva Het Daled Bekavanat Maran the Af Kli Rishon Da'ato La'atir. That he agrees, you can even put in the Kli Rishon. Mishum de'em Bishul Achar Afiah B'Tzliya Kamar Bet Yosef El Shebeoletzion Sham Katav Dilachadiyah Shlachush Ledat HaOsrim Moshe Chanuch Hizkir Da'at Zod Ve'azil Bazel Shtato Bekule Dochti. So again, Rav Ovadia and Rabbi Bishul argued when Maran brings two opinions. Do you disregard the Yesh Omrim or the first Yesh, or should you try to be strict for it? Rav Ovadia says you disregard it. It's as if it's not there. Rabbi Bishul and Rav Mordechai Eliyahu say if you can be strict for it, it's good to. So it's a machloket in how they understand the principles of Shulchan Aruch.
Ruvade would just say you're just being dumb.
Not being dumb, God forbid, but you disregard that opinion.
Well, like the Gemara always talks about like being strict for no reason.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah,
That's not that category.
correct. Yeah.
Is that it? Or is there?
You shouldn't be strict for it. Rav Ovadia says ignore it. That's a modern day rendering that the rabbis, when they write a kula, they add that to say if you want to be strict, you'll see blessing. Meaning, what I'm writing is a leniency. You're doing a leniency that's mutar. You're doing a leniency that's mutar mekar adin, but there's room to be strict. If you want to be no, that if you're lenient, it depends on the scenario.
What's the difference between mikil and bediavad?
Depends. Bediavad is after the fact. Bediavad is after the fact. So I can't do something bediavad on the onset. Bediavad is only.
Oh, you can't.
No, of course not. After the fact, if it happened, it's okay. Don't do it again.
Big misconception.
Yeah.
Like meaning like if someone says, "Oh, this is a mutar b'diavad," that means
After the fact, yeah. I can't do the chatfila, but if it happened, it's mutar.
I thought it was like you pick.
No. I mean, you're not going to get punished for it, but you can't do it. You shouldn't do it. You're not going to get punished for it. It's mutar b'diavad. It's not asur. But you shouldn't do it ideally.
But you can't go in with that.
Correct. You shouldn't go in. You know the famous Rav Demoni story? Josh, you know the famous Rav Nevitzol. Olam haba b'diavad. You don't know? Never heard Rav Demoni say it?
Oh, wait.
No, because I understand what b'diavad means now.
Someone came to Rav Nevitzol and said, Rabbi, not Rav Nevitzol, someone came to the Rabbi and said, Rabbi, I want to keep the entire Torah at the most b'diavad level possible. Okay? The entire Torah. Everything. I'm willing to keep everything, but the bare minimum. Okay, give me a few hours. The rabbi scratching his beard. Okay, come back. They open the Shulchan Aruch and they go straight Shulchan Aruch. Every b'diavad, every leniency that's b'diavad, he gives him. He publishes a book for the guy. Olam hazeh b'diavad, and the guy lives b'diavad. Everything b'diavad. The guy he passes away, gets Olam haba. Oh, lived an amazing life. He kept everything b'diavad. He gets to the entrance of Gan Eden. He brings out his gold card and he's confident. I lived everything I did b'diavad. I know I'm in. He scans his green card, his gold card, access permitted. Oh, see, I told you, showing all the angels, I'm the genius. I had the best life ever, and I'm entered into Olam haba. So they get into the Olam haba, they get into the palace, and they start at the beginning of the block of the street, and they're walking. And the angel looks at them and says, "You guys know who this mansion is? This is Moshe Rabbeinu." Wow! This guy has 20 acres of land. This one is the Rambam. Oh my gosh, Rabbi Akiva, Maran Shulchan Aruch, Rav Ovadia. Oh my gosh, look at all the Geonim, Rabban Gamliel, Rabbi Yehuda Nasi. And they're like, "Oh my gosh, look at this! This is amazing." Where's mine? Don't worry, keep walking. They get past the villas and the King's Point, whatever. They get to the village. No, they get to the village. This was this guy. Oh, it was the Beit Hamikdash Chacham in the Middle Ages. They didn't have access to the Gemara, but he still studied and learned. And through Rashi, oh wow, these were the people that were killed. I was killed to Hashem. Oh my gosh. What about me? Continue with me. They get into the Harlem. This guy put on tefillin a few days. Wow, he got a penthouse in Harlem. Okay, fine. Continue. Where's mine? See this cardboard box? That's you. What do you mean? I lived my entire life. I did everything. You want to live a life of bediavad, olam haba of bediavad as well. Enjoy your cardboard box. Rav Nevitzal always says it. Did he get olam haba? Of course. He has access to olam haba. But he's in a car olam haba. It's olam haba is bediavad also. That's what Rav Nevitzal's joke that Rav Darmoni always says. So we don't want our olam haba to be bediavad. We want our olam haba to be lechatchila. I want to be next to Moshe Rabbeinu, next to the Rambam, next to Rabban Gamliel, Rabbi Dan Nasir, Rabbi Akiva. I want to be next to them. So we do everything lechatchila. To answer your question, can you do something b'diavad on the onset? But if they do b'diavad something, he's not going to get punished for it. Okay, very good. So that's that. So wrapping. So just to give one halacha, netzinat pat the karotonim the kli rishon, putting bread and different croutons in a kli rishon. Keshem she'en bishul achar bishul, kach b'davar she'ne'efa or nitzla, kol tzorko, again, fully baked or fully roasted, ad she'nasa ra'ui la'achila, until it was eligible and edible, and meaning can be eaten. En bo mishum bishul. There is no problem of bishul. Lefikach mutar liten pat or croutonim. You can put bread or croutons betoch kli rishon sheusar min ha'esh. Veyesh mi shekatav leachmir bazeh lechatchila. That's the Ramah. The Ashkenazim are strict in a kli rishon not to do afiya and bishul. Achar bishul. But according to Maran, a kli rishon that was taken off the fire, you can pour your croutons in there. You can pour you can drop a piece of bread in there. Why? Because in Bishul Achar Afiah, in Bishul Achar, actually I don't think croutonim is a crouton. That's Shkidei Marak. We'll see that later. I'm not sure croutonim. Maybe it
on
is.
the esh in the kli rishon is talking about on top of the pot, right? Not on the actual fire, because that would be
On the fire, we never do anything on the fire, on an open fire on Shabbat, because it's a separate problem of michzeh kim vashel. It appears to be like cooking. That's a separate gezerah derabanan, not to do on Shabbat. So people won't suspect you to be cooking on Shabbat.
So when they refer to kli rishon on the fire, they're saying on top of like a pot.
On a plata, on the heat source, correct. This was sheusar min ha'esh. This was removed from the
Also, who
fire.
are the rishonim that say it's asur?
I think it's one Rishon. I forgot who it was, but it's not many opinions. It's a dat yachid. I mean, you'll always find multiple Rishonim, but Maran presented it as a dat yachid.
The Rambam and like the big guys,
They don't have any difference. They equate Afiya as Bishul.
They allow
I think
it.
in the Torah they allow it. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
If you have like a brownie and like it's not fully baked or something that's not fully baked,
Is it edible?
It's like raw in the middle. People can enjoy it and eat it and it's edible. But if you put that on the platter,
So it's an excellent question. It's an excellent question. The halacha really, the level is it edible? Meaning, if my dad likes bread to be more toasted, is he allowed? Exactly. So is he allowed to take your bread? It's edible, and put it on the platas to get it more crusty? We'll get there, but the answer is yes, because you might not be with us tomorrow. So the answer is yes.
So the Ramah would say no, because he says that it has to be.
It depends. Correct. The Ramah is more strict with Bishul Achar Afiah Bishul. Yeah. Chazak u'baruch.